Okay, today we're going to introduce another type of loop. So in our last tutorial, we learned about the while loop that keeps repeating itself unless um, the statement inside the while loop is not true. And today we're going to learn about this for loop. And we're going to build a little calculator for compound interest yearly. So to start, we build three values, and this time, usually we put in integer, such as integer a, but integers are only whole numbers, like 32 or 43, and today we'll be working with numbers with decimal places, so like 32.2, 42.3, and the name for the value will be different. It's called float. So we name our float A. The second float is named principal. The third, we have the interest rate. And this will be 0.03 or 0.04 yearly. So what the three values that I've just made here are in order. A is just the total money that including interest and your principal after how many years at the end. So the principal is simple enough, is how much money you have at the start when you put money in the bank, and the interest rate is just how much money um, you get out yearly. Now the calculation for your interest and the total money amount by the end will be using the for loop. And here we need to introduce an integer called year, assuming that our compound interest is yearly. So the first integer here, year equals 1. We're introducing a new integer. That's why we need to say its type. So after we've set it that it's an integer, when we use it again, we could just say year equals 30. Since the system knows what year represents here, it's an integer, and it starts with 1. And in the second, so after the semicolon, we have where the loop ends. So the loop starts with the year being 1, and it ends with year being, say, 30 years. So that would be 30 years of interest being put in the bank. And the third, we have, so after another semicolon, we have um, the increments. So that's how often the money is incremented each time. Let's say yearly, once a year. So what happens in this loop is, um, yeah, we calculate the total value, including your principal and your interest after 30 years. And the formula for it is principal times power 1 plus rate in year. Well, since the interest is incremented yearly, we don't have to worry about dividing this number by 12 or monthly. Simple enough. So now we have the value for um, your total amount of money by the end of 30 years. We just need to show it to the user, the ending amount. And that's simple enough. We could list out the year and the number of value accordingly. Since it's a for loop, this calculation will be done for each year. So year one, you put in $10,000 and you get out about 400. That's 4%. But your A value will be $10,400. And then you have second year, your third year, until it ends with the 30th year. So see out year, and that will just be listing year 1 to year 30. And this is just to separate year from your total amount of money, so it's easy to read. A, your total amount of money, and line. Simple enough, easy loop. And I like to type return 0 at the end. Okay, let's run these programs to see if it works properly. Ooh. Okay. Okay, I'm back. There was a mistake with where I put my bracket, so I didn't end the bracket for int main correctly. Now I've fixed it and you could see how it runs. On the left is your year. So the first year we get $10,400 by the end. And so each year it increments and the more money you get in the end. So by the end of the 30th year, you get $32,433, which is pretty good, triple amount. And there is also another way where you could, instead of introducing the value of principal yourself, you could give the user more freedom, say, letting them to decide the value of principal they put in. Or letting them to decide the value of rate. We could choose, say, principal to start with, just an easy one. It's easy to do. We've done this in our calculation for average age for your family member. You just type sin, and principal. This gives the user a opportunity, a chance to input the value for principal. And I just like to print out the principal. So the value of principal is what they typed in. And so let's run this to see if it works properly. Now what I should do is to give instruction first before I tell them to enter the principal. See, they just won't know what to do if without instructions. So I could just say this, enter the value of principal first. Enter the value of principal. And that looks good. And line. There we go. Okay. Enter the value of principal. Okay, we have, say, 20,000 there. That looks about right. Now, just for fun, we could also um, let them choose the yearly rate. So first, we just delete equal to, and I assume it's the same stuff. I've never done this before. Just testing things out, having fun. See how right. Enter the value of principal. Then see now enter value of rate and okay, let's see if this works. So principal we have 10,000. Oh, okay. Okay, I see why. It's the wrong dash. Now it should work. Okay, not not really. Okay, I'm just getting everything wrong here. Took a while to see the mistake. Now it should work. Let's run the program. Okay. Enter the value of principal. 10,000. Enter the 0.03, 3%. Check the first. And it's correct. Yeah, that looks pretty good. And here's just how you can apply your knowledge from before, like the calculation of your average age of your family members. See, I just remembered what I learned last time and applied it into this calculation. See, all this stuff wasn't in the tutorial that I looked from online. And I just thought it would be good to give the user more option, and it's a fun thing to do. You feel like you're actually thinking these things out. And yeah, the procedure, the steps, and the experience of testing things out is just really fun to do. Yeah, that's why I like programming. Okay, guys, that's all the content for today. See you next time, maybe tomorrow.